first on the Gulf Coast with breaking news and weather. Fox 10 Midday starts now.
Well, good morning to you and welcome into Fox 10 Midday. It's Friday, March 13th. We've officially made it to the weekend. I'm Ashlyn Mitchell.
And I'm meteorologist Hannah Fink.
Hannah, another cool start to the morning this morning. Not really feeling like spring out there early on.
I mean, I whipped out the sweater dress for one more go because I feel like I can make it work.
I was in a coat this morning.
Okay, that's a bit much. I didn't do that.
I was up at 5.
But
so
I should have done that when I was out on the jet deck during the 4, 5, 6 a.m. and I'm like, they're freezing before every single live hit.
Crazy. But you did tell us it was coming.
I did, and it's going to get worse into next week. Unfortunately, we are tracking another front moving through where it could even bring us another freeze. But for right now, beautiful sunny skies out there, not a cloud in sight. Traffic is looking good on our Eastern Shore Toyota cameras. Here's a look at our temperatures right now across the area. Definitely a warm up compared to this morning. We had a patchy frost in some of our northern areas, especially near Highway 84. Some of us were in the 30s. Definitely a chilly start to the day. But right now, 53 in Chatham, 58 in Monroeville, 61 in Atmore, 63 here in Mobile, 59 in Pensacola, 64 in Crestview, and 60 over in Lucedale. Looking at our next 5 hours, we're going to continue to warm up, see those sunny skies. Still no clouds in sight. 66 degrees by 1 o'clock, then into the upper 60s through the ending of the lunchtime hours. And we're right where we're supposed to be for our temperatures today. Maybe a degree or two above average, but hey, it's nice and warm out there. The humidity is low, so it's going to be great. Definitely recommend some outdoor activities. Then for our low this morning, it was below average by about 9 degrees, and I'm sure we all felt it if you were outside before the sun started to rise. But forecast highs today across the area, like I mentioned, lower 70, 72 for a high in Mobile, 72 in Monroeville, 69 in Pensacola, and 73 over in Lucedale. Then moving into tonight, even though it's warmer during the day, don't get too comfortable. It's going to be much chillier into the overnight hours, 45 degrees, but overall a calm night, 0% chance for rain, southwest wind around 5 miles per hour. So might want to turn that heat up a little bit compared to what we're having throughout the day today. But you're going to want to turn it off by the time we get into the weekend. Look at this, 78 degrees by the time we get into the afternoon on Saturday, 80 degrees on Sunday, but partly cloudy skies as we're tracking a front moving through the area. So we're going to have a little bit of an increase in cloud coverage, maybe a lingering shower or two, but once this front approaches our area, it'll be Sunday night into early Monday morning. Not much going to do for us for the drought monitor because some lingering showers for the day on Sunday. Then once that line approaches our area, it's going to be extremely quick. The main thing behind it is going to be that extremely cold air moving behind it. So we do have a severe weather outlook for it. I do need to add that it is a low end severe weather risk, level 1 out of 5, mainly for some damaging winds, but a brief tornado or two can't be ruled out. But the big story is going to be the cold right behind it. Yes, you're looking at that correctly. Those are 30s right behind me on Tuesday as well as Wednesday. That is below freezing. 32 is the mark there. Our more inland areas are probably going to be much colder. Many people have been planting or are planning to plant this weekend, so make sure you take your plants into preparation for that. We'll have more details on what you're needing to know for your weekend forecast as well as today's forecast coming up.
All right, Hannah, thank you. In just a few hours, the man accused of killing a Theodore mother and her 2 children will face a judge for the first time as a murder suspect. Prosecutors say they do plan to seek the death penalty. On Wednesday, the weeks-long search for Aurelia Chalk and her 2 children came to a tragic end in Baldwin County. Mobile County Sheriff Paul Birch says investigators found 3 bodies off Downing Road east of Summerdale in a wooded area tied to suspect Hector Gamaliel Argueta Guerra. Authorities believe the victims are Aurelia Chalk, her 17-year-old daughter Niurka, and 2-year-old son Anthony. Investigators also found jewelry bearing the victims' names at the scene. A cadaver dog made the grim discovery during what the sheriff called, quote, a routine follow-up. The news has certainly devastated those who knew the family. Next-door neighbor Maurice Simmons says the Chalks were much more than neighbors. They were family.
Anthony was, like they said, my little grandson, I guess. We played soccer every day, played with the dogs, taken to daycare. We were learning Spanish and English together.
Argueta Guerra also faces 3 counts of abuse of a corpse and obstruction of justice. Prosecutors say he gave a false name when he was first arrested on kidnapping charges. Sheriff Birch says he will not speculate on accomplices. Prosecutors say when he was first arrested on kidnapping charges, again, he gave investigators that false name. Simmons says he wants justice and he wants it soon.
If he is guilty, he deserves the most that they could give him. How could you do something like this? It's 3 people that you've taken from their home and done God only knows what for however long, and now we have to suffer through everything that we have to go through.
And Fox 10 News will be in the courtroom this afternoon for Argueta Guerra's hearing. We will let you know what happens there later on Fox 10 News today. In the meantime, a Pritchard police officer remains behind bars this morning after being indicted on charges he received stolen firearms. A grand jury indicting Officer Ryan Phillips on 3 counts of receiving stolen property. He was arrested just yesterday and remains in jail this morning. The district attorney says the charges stem from a February 12th shooting at Phillips' home on Wesley Avenue in Mobile. His roommate, San Juanita Coronado, was killed in that incident. Phillips was on scene and called 911. Officers also recovering 14 guns from the home, some reported stolen. Now, a judge set his bond at $15,000 on each count, which that's $45,000 total. The city of Pritchard says Phillips has been on administrative leave since the February incident. In a statement, the city says it is fully cooperating with the Mobile County Sheriff's Office and the district attorney. The city also announced a new partnership with Sheriff Birch and the Mobile County Sheriff's Office, bringing in outside oversight to help improve day-to-day operations at the Pritchard Police Department, including officer training and even management of the evidence room. The homicide investigation into Coronado's death remains open this morning. Well, meanwhile, 4 American crew members died in a military airplane crash in Iraq on Thursday. They were aboard a refueling plane. Now, the military says no hostile or friendly fire was involved, but a second tanker was. In fact, there were 6 people on board, and rescuers are still trying to locate the other 2. The names of those deceased service members have not been released at this time, and no additional details about the crash are known. Well, President Trump says the war with Iran is, quote, moving along very rapidly as his war secretary and Joint Chiefs chairman give an update. But Democrats are still demanding answers. Fox News correspondent Rebecca Castor has the latest from Washington.
Iran's new supreme leader remains out of sight after being injured in an Israeli airstrike, but he says his country won't surrender and the fighting continues. Less than a week after being elected to succeed his father, the new Ayatollah Mojtaba Khamenei issued a defiant message. Read by a news anchor, Khamenei says Iran will seek revenge for the deaths of its top leaders and school children mistakenly hit by what was likely a U.S. missile. He's keeping the Strait of Hormuz closed until the war is over and told Iran's Gulf neighbors U.S. bases need to be removed. Back home, the focus is turning to Iranian threats to the homeland. Yesterday, an Iranian group took credit for launching a cyber attack on Stryker, one of the top medical device makers in the U.S. The FBI also issued a bulletin for law enforcement in California to be on the lookout for drone attacks, though experts say the size and scope of a strike like that is unlikely.
To pull off an attack like that, it obviously needs a lot of people. It needs a lot of materials.
Here on Capitol Hill, Democrats are demanding public hearings. They want Secretary of State Marco Rubio and Pentagon Chief Pete Hegseth to testify under oath.
The American people deserve answers. Senate Republicans must listen to the outrage of the public.
But most Republicans say that's a non-starter.
It's another day in the life of the drama Dems.
Democrats are also raising concerns about the price tag. The first 6 days of the war reportedly cost more than $11 billion. On Capitol Hill, Rebecca Castor, Fox News.
And back in our local headlines today, Mobile firefighters are still working to figure out what sparked an overnight house fire on McLaughlin Drive. Crews got the call around 1:49 this morning and found this single-story home with flames showing. 2 people made it out of the house. One was rushed to a local hospital with minor burns, while the other was treated on scene for what we're told were superficial injuries. Firefighters say the blaze started in the living room area, but they were able to put out the flames without any further problems there. The home sadly is considered a total loss, and investigators are still working to pinpoint the exact cause. Funding to restore Florida's AIDS drug assistance program is now headed to Governor Ron DeSantis. This after lawmakers approved nearly $31 million in emergency funding through June 30th, 2026. The state health department issued an emergency rule change this month to cut more than 10,000 low-income residents off HIV medication coverage. Florida's ADAP provides HIV meds and insurance assistance to low-income residents living with HIV. The health department, though, reduced eligibility from 400% to 130% of the federal poverty level, eliminating premium assistance and removing meds from the program's formulary. 15th straight day of gas price hikes. According to AAA, the national average for a gallon of unleaded gas now stands at $3.63. Rising oil prices are driving this jump that we're seeing. At the center of its price spike is the Strait of Hormuz off the coast of Iran. The country's new supreme leader vowing Thursday to keep it closed. Energy Secretary Chris Wright has suggested the Navy might be able to start escorting ships through the waterway later this month, but that's still not a guarantee. It's 11:10 now, still ahead. A local husband and father days away from starting dialysis, but determined to keep living life on his own terms. Why he's choosing at-home dialysis and how he's still hoping for a transplant and what you can do to help him and others. That inspiring story next. Plus, heart health starts way before adulthood. In today's Health Minute, simple ways to get your kids eating a little more heart-healthy foods without a fight. But first, Hannah, a beautiful day for this Friday.
100% recommend going outside today. Plenty of sunshine, temperatures in the upper 60s over in Daphne over the next 10 hours, but temperatures will drop into the overnight hours. A cool start to our Saturday, but much warmer temperatures this weekend. More details on that coming up.
This weekend, the stage is set for the 2026 Mobile Kidney Walk and Celebration. Among those walking for the very first time is a local man who's about to start his dialysis journey on the road to getting a transplant. Arlie Peck has his inspirational story.
Dr. Wilbur.
Hey, Mr. Underwood. How are you today? Nice seeing you.
Tommy Underwood is returning to Fresenius Kidney Care.
I got your numbers back. Are you feeling okay?
I feel better than my numbers say, as a matter of fact.
That's good.
He's a new patient set to start dialysis in a few weeks.
I was diagnosed 30 years ago, almost to the day, so I've been knowing this is coming, but I didn't know this was coming.
In an ideal world, most people with kidney failure would get a transplant before having to go on dialysis.
Any concerns?
As a matter of fact, there's a lot of concerns recently.
But Dr. Steve Wilbur with Nephrology Associates says that's not always the case.
Then you start to talk to the patient about how would you like to pursue this? Would you like to do dialysis at home? Are you really advanced in age with a lot of other comorbidities? Do you want to do dialysis at all?
Semi-retired Mr. Underwood has opted to go the route of at-home dialysis, allowing him and his family more freedom, not having to come to the dialysis center 3 times a week, 4 hours at a time.
I'm working towards living longer and living not just longer, but quality. I lead a pretty quality life, and a lot of that has to do with I just have, she's going to love me saying this, but a fantastic wife.
Kidney failure can be genetic. 2 of the main drivers, diabetes and high blood pressure. While simple testing can determine if you're at risk, Dr. Wilbur is excited about advances that are promising.
We have several new drugs and therapies that are slowing the progression of kidney disease, and we're seeing that now in our patient population. The growth of kidney disease was steady, or the growth of dialysis patients was steady at about 3% for forever, for as long as I can remember, and we're bending that curve and it's now coming down, so it's great.
As he begins his dialysis journey, Mr. Underwood knows the wait for a kidney can be long. His younger sister just received a new kidney back in July after doing dialysis for 6 years. This weekend, he's walking for her, himself, and others.
Man, I'm just so grateful because in the old days, I'm told, whoa, it was not good. Much better now, much better.
He hopes to see you out there supporting a cause that doesn't always get the spotlight, but is much needed. In Mobile, Lee Peck, Fox 10 News.
And by the way, if you are interested, the Mobile Kidney Walk and Celebration is tomorrow morning at UMS Wright. Registration starts at 8 o'clock sharp. Every dollar raised stays local, helping roughly 1,500 patients in Mobile and Baldwin counties. Mr. Underwood is not very far from reaching his $2,500 goal to go to the Alabama Kidney Foundation. So if you'd like to donate to his team or you'd like to sign up for tomorrow's walk, we have the link inside this story on our website, fox10tv.com. Well, it is National Nutrition Month. You probably know being heart healthy is key to overall health, and experts say taking care of your heart should start in childhood. In today's Health Minute, Mandy Gaither explains why and has some tips on how to get children to eat heart-healthy foods.
It's the #1 killer of Americans, but in many cases, heart disease can be prevented. And having a heart-healthy diet is key for everyone, even children.
From the time they're born, their bodies are developing and growing, and we know that good nutrition is the backbone to that.
Caitlin Bauer with Nationwide Children's Hospital says high cholesterol isn't only a problem for adults, it's a danger for children too and raises their risk of developing heart disease. So she says to focus on having children eat lean proteins, fruits and veggies, and whole grains. But she says it's really important not to force or pressure children into eating healthier foods.
The more that we try and push certain foods, the more they're going to stray away from them.
Instead, Bauer says to lead by example. Children are more likely to try healthy foods if they see their parents eating them, and add some of these healthier foods on a plate next to items you know they like to eat. Even if the child doesn't eat it, she says to put it on their plate regardless. For young children, she says to allow them to interact with the food. She says you can build interest by asking questions like, what color is that new food? What does it smell like? How does it feel?
It's really baby steps, and I know that can feel really frustrating, but if we continue to lay that foundation over time, it's going to create a more open path for them to try new things.
For Health Minute, I'm Mandy Gaither.
That's good. And while we are on the subject of children's heart health, we have another event to share with you. A few months ago, Fox 10 News evening anchor spoke with the family of Zoe Grace, a girl who died from a congenital heart defect suddenly at just 13 years old. Her family now working to save lives in her honor by hosting the Bless Your Heart event. This is a free heart screening event, which will also have CPR training, a space for blood donations, along with food and other activities for the whole family. That event is Saturday, March 21st at Satsuma High School.
Well, here's a live look over in Pensacola right now. Beautiful sunny skies. The waves look very welcoming right now. It is a little chilly out there. Maybe head to the beach this weekend, as we do have a low risk of rip currents over the next 3 days. But here's what we're tracking for our weather headlines today. A sunny, warm and clear day for your Friday, but it is going to be warm this afternoon, but overnight tonight is going to be a little bit on the chillier side. And we are tracking showers and possible thunderstorms into the weekend, well, to end the weekend. As you can see, overnight thunderstorms possible on Sunday. But we'll get to that in a minute. Let's look at the next 10 hours. Beautiful sunny skies, not a cloud in sight after that front had passed through. Temperature is going to be in the upper 60s, some of us in the lower 70s throughout the day today. Very slight breeze out of the south, around 5 to 10 miles per hour. Then temperatures are going to drop into the overnight hours, back into the 50s by 9 o'clock tonight. So forecast highs, usually about 71 degrees this time of year. A lot of us are going to be at or near that typical mark, but it's going to be a nice day overall with dry conditions and low humidity. 72 for a high in Mobile, 73 in Chatham, 74 in Evergreen, 72 in Milton, 69 in Pensacola, and 73 over in Lucedale. Then transitioning to tonight, 45 degrees for a low tonight. Overall, clear night and calm conditions with no chance for rain and winds out of the southwest at 5 miles per hour. So it's going to be chilly going into the weekend, but don't worry, look at our high temperatures. Much warmer by the time we get into Saturday afternoon. Temperatures near 78 degrees and mostly sunny skies. And that warming trend is going to continue into Sunday with a much warmer day with temperatures in the 80s, but a 20% chance for a few sprinkles here and there. Most of us will stay dry, but That is good news, though, especially with those warmer temperatures. Going into our beach forecast over the next 3 days, a lot of people are on spring break or about to be on their spring break. Like I said, a low risk of rip currents over the next 3 days. The UV is going to be about a 7, so make sure you keep that sunscreen on hand. Temperatures getting into the mid to upper 70s going into Sunday. One thing I do want to know is going into Monday, because of that front approaching our area, we're going to have a high risk of rip currents, so be extra cautious there and pay attention to those beach flags depending on which beach you're going to. Dry conditions, though, are going to continue into our weekend until we get to Sunday as that front approaches our area. So it'll be a little bit more humid on Sunday because we have that southerly flow coming in. The rain chances are going to increase as well. Friday and Saturday going to be dry. Lingering showers during the day on Sunday. That front approaches Sunday night going into early Monday morning, and that's when we're going to have that storm chance. So as you can see on our long range forecast, keep in mind this is going to change as we go on throughout the weekend. Things are going to be fine-tuned, like timing and impacts and what exactly the threats are going to be. Right now, we're just keeping an eye on damaging winds at this time. Flooding, not so much, just because it's going to be a quick front. As you can see, there's 4 a.m. Monday, and then by the time we get to about 6, 7 a.m., it's going to be in northwest Florida, then out of the area. Then cold air will start to settle in right behind it. So because of that, we do have a marginal risk for severe weather. We have entered severe weather season. It's a low end risk, but one thing to keep in mind with that, it still needs to be taken serious because we could see some damaging winds up to about 65, 70 miles per hour. A brief tornado or two cannot be ruled out, and maybe the possibility for small hail. Now, when we have this marginal risk, you saw that line. That means 1 to 2 storms embedded in it could be severe, not the entire line itself. So that's one thing to keep in mind. And it is an overnight threat, so make sure you have ways to receive alerts using the Fox 10 weather app or even NOAA weather radio. Now, you saw that cold air come in behind the front. Look what it does to our temperatures. Yes, you're reading that correctly. 33 Tuesday morning and 32 Wednesday morning. Now, this is for Mobile, our more northern areas near Highway 84. Probably going to be much colder. So if you've been planting or are planning to plant, if you're planning to plant, maybe hold it off a little bit. But if you've already planted, make sure you take those precautions or just bring your plants inside. But luckily, it's very short. This cold spell is on the shorter end. We're transitioning back to where we're supposed to be that following weekend. So here's what we're tracking into our 7-day forecast. It's going to be a warm weekend overall. Next rain chance is going to be primarily Sunday night into early Monday morning. That's where that 40% comes in. But overall, we're going to transition into a dry day Monday as that northerly wind comes in, bringing that cooler, drier air. Temperatures in the 50s, which is nearly 20 degrees below average, especially with our lows. They're going to be freezing Monday night into Tuesday morning, and then Tuesday night into Wednesday morning. So like I said, if you have been planting, make sure you take care of those plants. But temperatures return back to the 70s by Thursday.
All right, Hannah, thank you for that update there. 11:24 on your Friday now. If you feel like eating out keeps getting more and more expensive, you are not alone. Why many restaurants say they can't raise prices anymore, and how some are quietly cutting costs in ways you might notice on your plate. That story and much more when Fox 10 Midday returns. Welcome back in on this Friday. For many restaurants trying to stay afloat in an uncertain economy, stability depends less on charging more and more on running smarter. Fox Business correspondent Madison Allworth has this story.
According to a new report, many independent restaurants say they've hit a price ceiling. They're now shifting away from raising prices. Instead, they're looking at ways to cut costs.
There's not many costs that remain to be cut. So what people I predict are actually going to do is they're going to start decreasing quality. That's what's going to happen. Is they're going to decrease quality significantly, and they're going to maintain the same costs.
The James Beard Foundation's annual industry report shows higher prices and delivery expansion are not as effective for restaurants operating on increasingly thin margins. Restaurants that raised prices more than 10% were most likely to report lower profits, down from a 15% threshold in last year's report.
Even though inflation is slowing, I don't think we're going to get to a point where we start to see 2018, 2019 raw costs anymore. So I feel as if we're at this ceiling right now, and we're going to stick there.
Most operators say business conditions improved last year, with a majority reporting good or excellent business performance and optimism about this year. But cost pressures persist, with labor remaining a top concern. 49% report staffing shortages.
What I say is double down, increase your quality, keep your costs the same, and sales will solve everything.
The rise of non-alcoholic beverages was the top consumer trend cited in the report. And with diners drinking less, alcohol isn't helping to offset tight food margins. Operators also report early effects from GLP-1 weight loss drugs, with some diners eating and drinking less overall.
Certainly a lot less carbs, and the problem with that is that protein costs are so much higher. So carbs are where you make your money, right? You work in those empty carbs, and then people feel full, and then they feel as if they got the value at your restaurant. But when you can't be giving them those empty carbs anymore, they're saying, hey, why is my steak only 2.5 ounces?
Chains like Chipotle are launching high-protein menus, and both Starbucks and Dunkin' have rolled out protein drinks. In New York, I'm Madison Allworth, Fox Business.
Well, it's 11:30 now on your Friday. Thanks for staying with us here on Fox 10 Midday as we wrap up the weekend. Let's toss it over to Hannah for a look at our catnap forecast today. This one from one of my close friends, Meg. Hannah?
Yes, this is Mr. Groot. Apparently he likes to take selfies from what we've heard. And for your catnap forecast, it's going to be nice and sunny, and conditions are going to be great to be outside, but might want to take a nap later. Temperatures are going to be in the upper 60s by 1 o'clock. A nice, warm, sunny afternoon, perfect for that catnap. We'll be right back with more Fox 10 after these messages.
Committed to you. This is Fox 10 Midday.
Welcome back in on this Friday. Turning now to your half-hour headlines. A new report from AAA reveals a frightening statistic. 15% of all reported vehicle crashes in 2023 involved a driver who actually fled the scene, which, by the way, that's a record high. And the number is even higher when a pedestrian or cyclist is killed. The Motor Club says most of these incidents happen when it's dark outside and there are no witnesses, so something to be aware of there. In the meantime, Toyota is recalling more than 500,000 Highlander and Highlander hybrid SUVs over a seat safety concern. The recall covers model years 2021 through 2024. The NHTSA says second row seat backs may fail to lock into position, increasing the risk of injury in a crash. Owners will be notified by mail in April, and the fix will be free at any Toyota dealership, so make a note if you own one of those vehicles. And finally, NASA has cleared its moon rocket for a launch next month. The Artemis II may blast off as soon as April 1st. The rocket had originally been scheduled to conduct a lunar fly-around earlier this year, but fuel leaks and other problems postponed the mission. The mission will mark humanity's first trip to the moon in more than 50 years. Well, meanwhile, a Georgia mother is upset after a local gas station owner refused to let her children shelter inside during a tornado warning. Listen to this. A school bus driver pulled into the station Thursday morning when storm conditions deteriorated. The owner was inside and refused to unlock the door for the students. He says the power was out and he couldn't exactly see who was outside. He claims he locked the door to keep robbers out. When a school employee he recognized arrived, he opened the door, and by then those weather conditions had improved. Well, Hannah's been talking all about being severe weather ready, and Foley is getting national recognition for its own severe weather preparedness. The National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration, NOAA, has named the city a Weather Ready Nation Ambassador. The designation goes to communities that work hard to prepare people for extreme weather, including hurricanes, floods, and tornadoes. Foley's Department of Public Safety applied for the honor, highlighting its efforts to share reliable forecasts and safety information with residents, businesses, and, of course, visitors. As a Weather Ready Nation Ambassador, Foley joins a nationwide network focused on improving readiness and communication before, during, and after severe storms.
Taking another look at Pensacola Beach outside. Beautiful blue skies. People are outside enjoying the beautiful weather. Many people are on spring break right now. We're about to be in their spring break, but this weekend is going to lead for some amazing conditions to be out on the water, and we do have a low risk of rip currents. But let's take a look at our weather headlines for what we're tracking. A clear and pleasant day overall for this afternoon, as you just saw, and into this evening, but a little bit of a switch up as we go into the overnight hours. A chilly night overall. overall. We are tracking our next rain chance Sunday night into Monday morning. Then after that front moves through, big temperature changes are on the way. But current conditions right now across the area, Mobile 63 degrees and then 59 over at Pensacola International Airport. Winds out of the east around 10 miles per hour. So dew points are on the drier side. So that's one thing to keep in mind. So it feels nice out there as you make your way out the door over the next few hours. Sunny conditions, temperatures near 70 degrees as well. So that jacket you had on this morning, might want to ditch it by the time we get to this afternoon, especially since forecast highs across the area are going to be quite pleasant. 71 degrees over in Van Cleve, 72 in Hurley, 73 over in Leakesville. Moving into our more inland areas, we're going to have a high of 72 in Jackson, 73 in Coffeyville, 73 in Beatrice, 74 in Brewton, 72 in Atmore, 72 in Fruitdale. Then moving into Mobile and Baldwin County, we'll have a high of 72 in Mobile, 72 in Citronelle, 72 in Bay Minette, 70 in Robertsdale, 68 in Gulf Shores, and 65 over in Dauphin Island. Then moving into Northwest Florida, we'll have a high of 68 in Pensacola, 72 in Walnut Hill, 73 in Crestview, and 66 in Fort Walton Beach. Then moving into this evening, temperatures will be in the 60s till about 8 o'clock tonight. Clear skies out there, then back into the 50s by the 9 o'clock hour. Yes, it seems like it'll be nice, but temperatures drop quite quickly into the overnight hours. 45 degrees for a low in Mobile, probably lower 40s in our more inland areas. So another cold night, kind of like what we saw this morning. A calm night, though, 0% chance for rain. And winds out of the southwest at 5 miles per hour. Now going into this weekend, it's going to be a little warm today, but much warmer on Saturday as well as Sunday. A high of 78 on our Saturday, then a high of 80 on Sunday. Partly cloudy skies on Sunday because a front is approaching the area, so a little bit more cloud coverage. A few of us could see a light sprinkle or two throughout the area, but what we're tracking is a front that's moving through our area into the overnight hours Sunday into Monday. So this is a look at Sunday during the day. Very light sprinkle. Overall, it's going to be a humid day because we have that southerly flow bringing that warm Gulf moisture. And then this front approaches from the west, moving to the east. So this could have a strong storm or two embedded in it. That's why we have a level 1 out of 5 risk for severe weather. But cold air is going to be the main story right behind it. So here's a look at that marginal risk. A level 1 out of 5, so a low end threat, mainly for some damaging winds. But overall, our 7-day forecast, what we're expecting, that front moves through Sunday night. And look what it does to our temperatures. 30s going into Tuesday and Wednesday morning, so a freeze is ahead in our forecast.
All right, Hannah, thanks for the update there. Well, the annual Baldwin County Special Olympics celebration is happening today in Fairhope, and it's a day full of competition, celebration, and lots of inspiration. Fox 10's Stephen Moody has more from WC Majors Field.
All of Baldwin County's best were represented here Friday as they celebrated the 2026 Baldwin County Special Olympics. It started with a parade of athletes and the torch run, and it helped to highlight these athletes and to celebrate their accomplishments.
Well, we probably have about 425 athletes. We have scheduled them for about 1,000 events. It is 300 volunteers, so this is just a big day for students with disabilities in Baldwin County because it is their day.
And it's a day that everybody, including the athletes, looks forward to.
Oh, I'm really excited about this special event. Oh, it was really exciting, and everyone at school were cheering for me, like I told you.
It's probably right up there with the state championship, or even better than that, because these parents, they love this day. The community loves to give, and it's part of their day too. So this is just all about these students and all their success that they have.
And on a day like today, smiles could be seen all around.
All the efforts and the hard work and all the hours, it's all worth it. It's absolutely worth it. And to see the parents, everybody's happy, everybody's excited. It's a beautiful day. You just can't ask for more in Baldwin County.
Stephen Moody, Fox 10 News.
All right, lots of fun out there, Stephen. Thank you. Well, more discounts from McDonald's, more robo-taxis are coming, and tip culture chaos. Here's Fox's CJ Papa with today's Fox Business Briefs.
McDonald's is expected to introduce a new $3 value meal starting in April. Nation's Restaurant News says higher gas prices as a result of the Iran war are likely to impact restaurant spending. Research from Consumer Edge says the brands most likely to be impacted are Peter Piper Pizza, Golden Corral, Waffle House, Jack in the Box, and In-N-Out Burger. The Wall Street Journal says McDonald's is planning items like a $3 4-piece Chicken McNugget and a $4 breakfast meal with items like an Egg McMuffin, hash browns, and coffee. Uber Technologies is partnering with Zoox, a subsidiary of Amazon. It will deploy robo-taxis through the Uber app. The rollout is expected to start in Las Vegas this summer. It plans to expand to Dallas and Phoenix. Uber app users will have the option to be matched with a Zoox robo-taxi on eligible trips. And more than 2 in 5 Americans think the U.S. should ban tips. WalletHub says 81% of people think tipping has gotten out of control, with 1 in 5 saying they tip less when presented with a tip suggestion screen. CJ Papa, Fox News.
11:42 now, and let's be honest here, most of us could use more sleep, myself included. Today is World Sleep Day, and experts say proper rest is more important than you might think. Experts are encouraging folks to focus on their sleep hygiene. They say adults should be getting between 7 and 9 hours of sleep a night. They say being overtired should not be taken lightly.
Not having adequate sleep can impact your metabolic function, it can have neurocognitive implications, and it can affect your immune system. I often remind people that when you drive sleep deprived, your reaction time and cognitive skills are akin to those if you were driving over the legal blood alcohol level.
So what can you do to get better rest? Well, experts recommend getting plenty of natural light during the day, cut back on the caffeine. I know that's difficult. Avoid large meals before bed and try sleeping in a cool, dark room. They also suggest staying away from alcohol and drugs, which can disrupt your sleep cycle as well. And if you've tried it all and still can't get a good night's rest, they say it might be time to talk to a sleep professional. Well, roll out the red carpet because the Oscars are officially here. Even gamers are gearing up for the big show. We'll have a full look in just a few minutes. And a man in Texas walks away unharmed after a terrifying crash sent his vehicle diving 200 feet into a canyon. Those stories and much more right after this.
Conservative Brett Marcus is...
Welcome back into Fox 10 Midday on your Friday. It is all about the Oscars this weekend. Even video gamers have movies on their minds as well.
Rick Damigella reports.
Hey, movie buffs. Ready to step into the spotlight and become the ultimate Hollywood boss?
Ever thought you should be in charge of decision-making at a Hollywood film studio? Among the numerous games available that let you try your hand at movie mogulhood is the Executive Movie Industry Tycoon. The studio simulator is available for PC via Steam.
Underneath the moon so bright, you and I, we dance tonight.
But what if you really want to do is direct? There is, or rather will be, Hollywood Director the Simulation. The game isn't playable yet, but its listing on Steam says it will let players create familiar filmmaking aspects in its gameplay. And if you've ever dreamed of running your own movie theater, there is Ultimate Theater Simulator. The first-person cinema sim puts players in charge of growing their movie house into a successful business. Leveling up in Hollywood, I'm Rick Damigella.
All right, lots to see there. Take a look at this giant statue of a pigeon that is about to fly the coop. It's been on display at Manhattan's High Line Elevated Park for about 18 months now.
The hand-painted cast aluminum sculpture is called Dinosaur. The artist behind it says the name is a nod to the pigeon's ancestors from millions of years ago.
So it'll be removed with a giant crane in a trailer, as you can imagine. A big farewell bash is planned for March 21st.
Get this, more than one petition reportedly called for the statue to remain there permanently. Dinosaur is the fourth in Highline Art's rotating plinth program. The next one is a 27-foot tall sandstone Buddha sculpture, which will also be on display for 18 months.
What in the world?
People really like Dinosaur.
And it's very lifelike.
Yeah, honestly,
I don't really love pigeons.
I'm not a big bird person. I've been pooped on by one, so, you know, teach their own. I let them do their thing, but whenever they're near me at the beach, I make sure my pub sub is put in my bag.
Hey, smart. Good reminder there, especially for all you spring breakers that aren't used to the area. Yeah, that's a massive bird.
I mean, I guess I can't really tell how big it is based off of these pictures. It's almost like, have you ever seen those pictures where you take a picture of something that makes it look really big, but it's because you're really close to it?
It looks like something from a movie for sure. Well, listen to this next story. One man is recovering after surviving a life-threatening accident in Texas. Authorities say the tire on his vehicle blew out, sending it rolling 200 feet into a canyon.
Somehow the man was able to walk away from the wreckage before being spotted. Police say he's hospitalized now with broken ribs and a possible concussion. So glad it was not worse than it could have been, because that is insane.
Absolutely. Rescue personnel were able to retrieve the vehicle from the canyon, and the cause of the wreck is still under investigation, but that's wonderful that he was able to walk away from something like this, because when you look at this car, you would not think that would be the result.
No, very thankful he is okay from that.
Yeah, definitely a good reminder to be safe out there wherever you are this weekend, on the roads, at the beach. Speaking of the beach, let's take a live look outside. Hannah, where are we looking?
This is a live look over at Dauphin Island, a beautiful sight out there. Many spring breakers heading out and about to our coastal beaches. Definitely recommend getting outside this weekend. We'll have another look at your warm temperatures after this.
Come back in. A pair of fascinating time-traveling discoveries, each that started as one thing and became another down through the ages. Jeremy Roth explains in today's Take a Look at This.
Take a look at a 2,000-year-old coin experts say traveled through time, starting as an ancient civilization's currency and ending as bus fare. The coin was recently donated to a British museum by a man who says his grandfather, a transit employee, gave it to him in the 1950s after someone used the rare piece to pay for a bus ride. According to the Leeds Discovery Center, the coin's origins date back millennia to 1 BC, where they say it was produced by the Carthaginians, an ancient civilization on the Spanish coast. Realizing its age and significance, the man donated his grandfather's gift, which will now be studied and displayed at the museum, which houses currency from cultures around the world spanning thousands of years of history. Yet another historic relic that was hidden in plain sight is this seemingly innocuous stone found in an Eastern European backyard that archaeologists say was once a mold for ancient weaponry. According to a recently published study by Archaeological Views, the stone, a volcanic rock found used in an old barn wall in the Czech Republic, dates back to the Bronze Age, around 1350 BC, where experts say it was likely used to make molded weapons like spearheads. Using X-ray technology, researchers were able to trace the stone's origins at a microscopic level and even made 3D renderings showing what weapons it was used to craft might have looked like. For Take a Look at This, I'm Jeremy Roth.
Wow. Never seen one of those before.
I couldn't even tell you really what it was.
I don't really know.
This was us trying to figure out what that was while
I'm
y'all were
sure one of
listening.
you on the other side of the screen knows what's going on a lot more than we do.
But one thing I can tell you, I know somewhat about, is the forecast. So here's a look at our 7-day forecast. A warm day going into our weekend, but a chilly start into the overnight hours. Will be in the 40s, and then near 80 degrees on both Saturday and then Sunday will be at 80 degrees. We are tracking a front moving through Sunday night into Monday morning. It's going to be a quick one, but it could bring us a strong storm or two. Mainly gusty winds is the main thing we're tracking. But as you can see, it adjusts our temperatures quite dramatically. So on Monday and Tuesday, our highs, yes, our highs will be in the mid 50s, but our lows will be in the 30s. We could see another freeze in certain locations. So if you're somebody who just planted, that's one thing to know. Or if you're planning to plant, maybe hold it off for another weekend, but then we'll be back into those warmer temperatures on Thursday with plenty of sunshine. So I don't know about you, Ashlyn. I was kind of like, oh, 30. Should I put that in there?
Listen, everyone say thank you, Hannah, for the warm weather this weekend, because I know a lot of you are on spring break. So we will get to enjoy that before the cold weather moves in. We will see you on Fox 10 Live at 3 in 3 hours.